Okay, so here we have Kyle from Pre-Law Club. So Kyle, could you state your full name and your position in the club?
Yeah, so my name is Kyle Schmidt. I'm the president and founder of Pre-Law Club.
Okay, so I think the name kind of speaks for itself, but could you maybe discuss a little bit more about your club's name and its purpose or mission?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Pre-Law Club is what I founded last year after Phi Alpha Delta died out. It's a club which is focused around exploring the law, focusing on the legal process, and most importantly, it's getting speakers and engaging in events. For example, we had a speaker who came a couple months into the fall semester who spoke on real estate law and development. And recently, we've been preparing for our mock trial competitions. So basically, we prepare students for all aspects of legal law, whether that's going to events and listening or actually participating through mock trial competitions.
Okay, so why should students join your club? And I'm going to kind of split this up into two groups here, and you definitely can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know there are some students who want to pursue a law career and some students who maybe are not on that at that point yet. So could you maybe speak to both groups?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, for those who want to pursue law, it can help specify how the process works. It helps you clarify the application process, what application officers are looking for, what are the requirements, such as you have to take the LSAT, and there are other such requirements. And for the second group, it'll help them determine what's important about law. There's a lot of things that law bleeds into our regular everyday lives. From going to the grocery store, from driving a car. Law interacts with everything. And most importantly, you don't know how interesting it is until you actually do it. One of the nice things about our pre-law program is you don't even have to be interested in law to get into that. It teaches you critical thinking skills, how to think on your feet, and how to react in adverse situations, especially analytical skills. These are all things which are not necessarily specific to the law, but are helpful in everyday life. And additionally, they help your transfer application and your resume, which for a lot of people, that's really, really important.
Right. And so could you maybe give us a rundown of when your club plans to meet this semester?
Absolutely. So for our club, we focus largely on events. So we meet the last Tuesday of every month for an event. Our next upcoming event will be a movie, a discussion, and a talk with a Pepperdine professor of law.
All right, sounds great. And do you have any events that you are planning on doing for spring? I know last semester you all had, I believe, a mock trial event that was going on. Is there something going to be similar to that, or could you maybe elaborate more if there is something similar on what a mock trial event is?
Absolutely. So first off, I can explain what a mock trial event is, and then I'll get into more of the specifics of what we plan to do.
Okay.
So a mock trial event is essentially a staged courtroom sequence. You have a plaintiff side and a defense side, and you're given a case packet, and both sides argue it out. So for the spring semester, we're largely focused on the transition from I want to be a lawyer to law school. That includes getting admissions officers, law school testimonials, current students, and explaining what that process would mean, including the time commitment, the cost, and everything that's included. So this is a juncture from our first semester of the year, which focuses largely on what is a lawyer, how does lawyers work, what are the different kinds of law. It focuses more on the students who are transitioning to now I've decided I want to be a lawyer. How do I do that? So that is the second semester transition.
That sounds great. So it sounds like now it's a kind of about what they do, and then the first semester was about what they are. So I think that's great that you have that kind of transition there. And with that said, could you, because I know at the very beginning you spoke about how you were actually one of the founders of Pre-Law Club. Could you maybe, if possible, share with students your personal journey towards an inspiration for forming the club in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first came to PCC, I really wanted to be on mock trial. That was kind of one of the goals of mine. I wanted to be a part of this community. I did it in high school, and I really enjoyed the experience. Coming to PCC, I searched out for a club called Phi Alpha Delta. It was a pre-law fraternity at PCC. And I actually did start that up again once I came to PCC. However, as soon as I started it up, I realized it costs $60 to join that club, and the students don't really get any benefit out of it. So I scrapped it. I started a new model. the PCC Pre-Law Club, so students could join free of charge, get speakers, events, and also have mock trial competitions without having to pay the fee, which I thought was unnecessarily high. And this is a better alternative, especially for community college students, to engage and see if the law would be a right fit for them.
Right, and I do appreciate you kind of lowering that bar and bringing equity to this process and this area of study. So thank you so much, Kyle, for your time. That was Kyle from Pre-Law Club, and you can find them on Lancer Life. Okay, so next up here we have Elizabeth from Paralegal Club. Elizabeth, thank you for coming and interviewing for the virtual Club Rush here today. So just to start off here, could you go ahead and just tell us your full name and your position in the club?
I'm Elizabeth Wilcox, and I'm like the president of the club right now. So yeah.
Okay. And what is your club's purpose? I think it kind of speaks for itself in Paralegal Club, but maybe we can elaborate a little bit more.
Okay. Well, it's mainly to support like paralegal students at PCC. Of course, um, the students currently enrolled in classes, and also students who might be just looking for a major or just curious about like what paralegals do. We also have some alumni who come back for events and for talks. We are open to the public, so anybody can really stop by virtually, of course, and listen in to our meetings and just find out more information.
Okay, thank you. So I know, based on maybe our experiences watching TV, the lawyers get all the fame, but I know paralegals are the ones that back them up. Can you maybe speak more to that and maybe why students should be interested in paralegal work and in your club?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, definitely lawyers get all the well, I mean, they appear in court and all that, and paralegals
Right.
can't do that. But in terms of working in a law firm, the paralegals do a lot of the work, just the like nitty gritty detail work, all the like writing up all kinds of things, correspondence, all that. And if you are very interested in the legal profession, being a paralegal is a great way to decide if you like law.
Mhm.
Because if you get your paralegal certificate and you're like, I don't like law, you have only, wasted a couple of years and a small amount of money as opposed to going to law school and wasting, $100,000 on something you hate. And also, being a paralegal, you in some ways know certain aspects of the law as much or even more than an attorney in terms of like when something should be filed or all that stuff. So if you're very detail oriented, very organized, and enjoy researching and stuff like that, it's a really good option. And there's a lot of jobs available as well. Um,
Okay.
it's a good field to go into because they need more people who are experienced and know what they're doing.
Sure. And so from what I gather, even if students aren't necessarily pursuing a career as a paralegal, they still can maybe join the club and just get some information if this is maybe the right fit for them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. If you're just like, what do paralegals
Hmm.
do? We have a lot of speakers. We had the LA Paralegal Association president last year to
Uh-huh.
speak, talking about, the COVID-19 rules and how that's changing the law office and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you're just curious, you can do that. Or even if you just want to take a couple of classes, because sometimes people take who are in other majors to take paralegal classes like business law, or
Uh-huh.
like there's certain classes where you might in another major you might actually take class in for paralegal class.
Okay. So could you maybe give us some information on when your club plans to meet for the fall? Just so that students can maybe get a schedule down?
So we normally meet once a month, and we meet on Saturdays, usually around 2 p.m. We sometimes change the date and time because we have
Sure.
speakers, so we have
Mhm.
to make sure to coordinate with their schedule. But we try to make them on weekends because a lot of the students do work like during the weeks. So we want to make sure that all students can go and attend it. So generally
Sure.
speaking,
Yeah.
weekends are a good time.
Okay. Do you have any events that you maybe see moving forward in the spring that you plan to do? I know you said that really briefly there that you might have you have speaker events. I know in the past, I believe Paralegal Club has done visits to the courthouse, which obviously isn't
Yeah.
possible now. But if there's something that's similar to that, can you maybe elaborate?
Yeah, so we have done under normal circumstances, we do visits to courthouse, or we go to the law library. Obviously, that's not possible this semester.
Right.
We do historically, along with some other clubs on campus, have held law day, and we're kind of like working on how we can do that virtually, but
Right.
it's a little bit more complicated than
Mhm.
normal. So hopefully, we can get that straightened out and figure out how to do some kind of modified law day. But yeah, we definitely want to have some speakers. And generally it's like, trying to find someone and then just be like working around their schedule. But yeah, we're hoping maybe we can have another speaker from LAPA, Los Angeles Paralegal Association, speak
Okay.
and give like an update on things and so that kind of thing. So yeah, and hopefully Law Day will work. There's also some volunteer opportunities
Uh,
for students through LAPA. They have coordinated with some law offices and stuff for the COVID relief. Some like opportunities to donate your time to help out.
Sure. All of that sounds amazing. Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time. So for students who are interested, please visit their Lancer Life page, and I'm sure they'll be glad to have you.
Yes, I'm excited to see everybody.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
All right, so up next we have SCTA, and we have Richard from SCTA. Richard, we could state your full name and your position in the club for us, please.
Yes, hello. My name is Richard Secura Teixeira Alves, and I am the Vice President of the Student California Teachers Association. Statewide and nationally, I also statewide I hold a position as part of the Student CTA statewide board,
Mhm.
and I also hold a position as the NEA advisory committee for aspiring educators.
Okay. So could you state SCTA's purpose or mission?
So our mission and purpose is to organize aspiring educators, whether it be from K through 12 or in higher education, to start their professional pathways towards becoming an educator.
Okay. Yeah, and I understand, at least I've heard recently that there's been a lack of teachers, or that teachers are underpaid, or they're not qualified in some instances. So I think that's super important. And I appreciate that your club kind of provides that pathway for potential future generations of students.
Yes,
So
Chris, like we encompass like all issues in education. It's like if it's in the news, we will discuss it. So
awesome. Yeah. So with that said, I think I kind of know what the answer is to this already, but if you can maybe elaborate, students should join your club because they want to become educators, right? Or is there maybe another reason you want to elaborate on?
yes, one thing that we would like to kind of sell towards all the students here at PCC is that this is an organization for aspiring educators and existing educators, but also we're a large organization with 3.2 million members, and so to kind of emphasize that if we were to go to like a lot of 1 in 10 or 2 in 10 actually now is an NEA member, and so we definitely would like to emphasize that membership is something that's very important. It's something that benefits you in the long run because you get to meet people that are in the field today. And so,
Hmm. And yeah, and I think that's important to connect the classroom with working professionals. Um, and I guess with that, could you maybe give an outline of a schedule of when your club plans to meet this semester for any interested students out there?
we generally meet every other Thursdays from 12 to 1, but we also meet on Tuesdays for social Tuesdays every other Tuesday as well. So from 12 to 1 as well.
Okay, awesome. And so with that, could you also maybe give some more details about any events that your club plans on hosting in the spring, or any opportunities that you want they provide for students?
Certainly. So this spring we'll have two conferences. One is a statewide conference and one is a national conference. It's a great opportunity to meet students and members from other parts of the state, but also parts of the country as well. And here on campus, we will be hosting Teacher Appreciation Week. We will also be doing some things like a lot of activism on campus, and so especially calling for the need for sanctuary for being a sanctuary campus
Hmm.
for a lot of our undocumented students and members of the undocumented community. And so if activism is something that you feel that it's or in social justice something that kind of calls to you, student CTA also does that. And so it's basically it's a format that's very open to everyone.
Awesome. And yeah, I do appreciate that you mentioned that inclusivity and that you're serving underserved populations here at our campus. Richard, if you have any closing thoughts or any social media or any personal experiences you want to share with SCTA, I know you've been with the club for a while. Do you have anything like that you want to maybe tell students?
Yeah, certainly. If they could follow us on Facebook, we're under SCTA-Pasadena City College,
Hmm.
and then we're at the at sign SCTA dot Pasadena on Instagram, and so definitely follow us there. And so for more updates.
Okay, awesome. And you can find all that information if you click through to Lancer Life for students out there, just like every other club we have on campus. So thank you so much, Richard, for your time. And that was Richard from SCTA.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris.